These are old Elinchrom monoblocks. They are called Style 400BX. They 400 watt seconds. You can get them all the way down to 25 watt seconds. And the way you take it up or down is in either a full stop or in tenths of a stop. Um, and they are or were made in 2004. So I'm making this video in 2022. That means these things are 18, almost 19 years old. I just got a pair of them. They have not really been used too much over the past 18 years. In fact, they still had the original plastic bags, and they work great. I plugged them in. I let the capacitors kind of form, and everything is working as you'd expect it. The fan, it's fan based. The fan is really quiet and silent. It definitely has things that you would associate with Swiss manufacturing in terms of how precisely it's put together. It's not that heavy, and it's relatively short and it's relatively wide. So I think of it more in terms of like a heavy, or not a heavy, but like a good sized log as opposed to like a skinny pole. Um, and you can tell by just taking a look at the reflector here. The reflector doesn't flare out that much because the front of this is pretty wide. Um, Here you can see the modeling light as well as the flash tube. The flash tube's exposed. You can also see a collar, that black thing. So when you put on reflectors or when you put on a speed ring, they're obviously it's Elinchrom proprietary mount. That's the only thing about this that I don't enjoy. It's a little bit of a learning curve, at least for me. Not a big one, but it's definitely harder to put on a reflector or I would imagine a speed ring than it would be, let's say, on Profoto. But not the end of the world. But you do put the reflector in this case in, and you twist it, and then you use the collar to actually lock it once you have it in place. So it's not going to come off, but it's not the easiest thing, in my opinion, to put on. Other things here, when you take a look at this, there is a nice photo cell. That's that little white dot. To me, it seems highly sensitive. I've tried using pretty low powered flash aimed at all different spots within the room that I shoot in, and it was able to register and work. That little musical note down there, that if you want it to chime when it recycles, the little crazy star that's right above the red power button, that's the test. And then the up or down and the light bulb, that's for the modeling lamp. So if you want the modeling lamp to increase or decrease or be proportional, that's what those buttons do. It is, it's an older interface here, right? So that's a plastic sheet, and you push the buttons kind of through that plastic sheet. So it works fine. It's pretty sensitive. I don't know what happens over time if it gets punched a lot, but that is definitely dates this. The sync is a little different as well. It's 3.5 millimeters. The ones I'm used to seeing are bigger. They're called like a phono jack, and but that's not the end of the world. 3.5 millimeters is kind of a typical auxiliary cable, if you will, that you can use to kind of plug your, music player or phone into a car. So those are really easy to get. And then at the very bottom, right next to the word Swiss made, is the umbrella shaft. So the umbrella actually goes into the middle of the reflector, into the face of the light. Let's see if I can show that. And the other thing worthwhile pointing out here is that the reflector will take 7 millimeters. So I think that might be a rather small shaft size. I haven't tried some of the larger umbrellas that I use to see if they'll work. But they've accommodated for larger umbrellas by this bracket that's in the bottom of the photo. So if you take a look at the bottom of the photo, there's that sort of metal curvy thing next to the handle. And, this might be a better way to take a look at it, a side view. So you can actually clamp in larger umbrellas, larger umbrella shafts, I should say. Um, and I have one that's, I don't know, it might be like 6 feet across. It's pretty large. I use it a lot. That's what I'm imagining. I will not be shoving that into the strobe. I'll be using this bracket right down here in order to accommodate that. So these are, as I said, not that expensive. I think when they were made, I think they were geared towards a beginning professional. At least that's the literature that I saw. I think they had 3 different lines of monoblocks, sort of entry level, this mid level that you're looking at now, and then they had a professional level of what's called a pro level. And I think the difference between this level and the pro could be that the pro maybe was a little bit more robust. Maybe it was meant to be plugged in more. Maybe it was meant to take more flashes. Maybe it was meant to be banged around more. That's what I'm imagining they would put into a pro model. This one targeted towards maybe a serious amateur photographer or entry level professional, but it's still built really well. It's lightweight, but it has a really nice feel to it. I wouldn't say it's like a fine Swiss watch, but I would also say it doesn't seem like a consumer flash that maybe you would find available these days. So yeah, I took part of this photo with another Elinchrom Style 400BX. It's actually backlighting this, and they work well, and I'm happy that I've had a chance to pick them up.